Cleveland, this one's a little easier. They need some sort of guard creator, potentially two, right? They need a shooter. They've been ravaged by injuries. They've been able to hold on. Love, I think they keep, and he's too expensive anyway. Rubio is an expiring at 17.8 and he's hurt, so he's the perfect person to package. Sexton 6.3. Seems like they want to keep him. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
keeping him and paying him are two very different things.
Right. Or he's a sign and trade possibility this summer. Who knows? The targets I think would be, and tell me if I leave anything out. Eric Gordon, we've talked about before, is the most obvious perfect fit. I think he's like 17 and 18 million. Fits perfectly with Rubio. Throw a pick back. You're good to go. Dennis Schroder, they could take a flyer on for $6 million. Pretty easily accommodate him in some way. Gary Harris, I'm not crazy about. Karis LeVert, I'm not crazy about. Ball stopper, I'd be hesitant to do that. And then the upside guy is CJ McCollum, if they wanted to get super frisky. Because they could put Rubio, Sexton would have to be in that. They could package the contracts, throw a pick, and you're doing that if you have a chance to win the East. I mean, my Celtic fan text thread yesterday, we're texting that the Celtics 538 was giving them as good of a chance to make the finals as the Warriors because the East is that much of a disaster. So if you're Cleveland, like, all right, if we have CJ McCollum, could we win the East? It's not inconceivable. So what do you see from them?
I like kind of the Gordon and the shape of that kind of move for them more so than a bigger swing like McCollum. And McCollum just kind of locks you in salary-wise, touches-wise. It makes you be a certain kind of team with two small guards that if they can avoid it, they could have such incredible length with Mobley at the 4 and Allen at the 5 if they can just get a reasonably sized two guard for their long-term future. That's easier said than done, obviously. And really, they're in a position like a lot of these teams where what they really need is the ability to consolidate two of their players' skill sets into one. Like if Colin Sexton and Isaac Okoro were the same player and that guy was 6'4", 6'5", he'd be amazing. That'd be exactly what they need.
Yeah.
But obviously Sexton's out. Okoro is very limited offensively. I don't know. I mean, I do like the scoring wing idea. One name that we haven't gotten to yet that I will try to throw into all these conversations if the Blazers allow it is Norman Powell. That's a guy who I think could fit so many different teams, knockdown three-point shooter, guards bigger than he is. We saw him, guard Michael Porter Jr., for example, in the playoffs pretty effectively in for stretches. I could see a guy like that plugging in, but it would require Portland reaching for that big red blow it all up button that every team in the league has been waiting for them to press. And so far they've been pretty reluctant to.
Yeah, he's 5 for 90.
I think
because he's in the first year of this giant extension he signed. Yeah, Portland's in a weird spot because they have Nurkic as an expiring who's playing well. And I think they can get something for him.
Yeah.
Dame, who knows? And then CJ, who knows? And then Covington's an expiring. But at this point, I think people have looked at him for a long time. And then they have Nance. I mean, they conceivably could make 5 trades and completely and become OKC overnight if they actually wanted to. If I'm Cleveland, I'm trying to figure out, can I get a guy who can play crunch time for me in a playoff series?
Yeah.
And I think that spot is the 2 guard next to Darius Garland. So if Gordon's a great example, right? Gordon's been in a ton of big games.
Yep.
I actually think he's a little underrated, especially because, he was in a weird situation with Houston where I think he could have had the ball more and been a little more of a creator than he was. So you think like Garland, Gordon, Okoro, and the 2 big guys. And then you could go super big with Markkanen if you want. That makes sense to me. And that's a low risk. If I were them, I would trade their first and whatever else it took, because I think it's important for these guys to be in a playoff series. I've said this for years. I think the playoff reps are so good. Even Memphis in those playing games last year, it really helps to be on that different stage. And I would like to see that team in that stage. Well, Cleveland's 31 and 21. They're in the 5th spot. They're not that far away from the 1 seed. So
not at all.